we was playing ball on the east side the night that Rich died. Me and my friends, late at night, we playing ball for a few dollars and shit. And we hear some gunshots because of the highway. But we don't think that is real. We just like, damn, somebody just lost their life. This is what we just say while we was playing ball. All right, so we come back to the block, go to the store, get some water. It's like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And the Suzuki Jeep was creeping by on the opposite side of the street. And I look, I'm like, damn, that looked like Alpo in that car. I just waved my hand. He waved, he swung a U, came around the block, pulled over. And he was like, what's up, man? And he had scratches on his face, like deep scratches in his face. I'm like, damn, what the fuck happened to you? Well, the scratches looked like he was still bleeding. And he was like, nah, my girl, man, DC, man, we had a fight. I'm like, wow, damn, you don't heal easy then, because you look like you still bleeding. But I'm blind to the matter of what took place. So this cat had drove past. He was like, oh, who that? It was this cat. He was, oh, that nigga owe me some money. I'll be back. So he jumped in the car. He had some other cat with him. I didn't even know who he was. He jumped in the car and he drove and he followed the dude. So after that, this girl had walked up on me. She's like, what's up? I was looking for you. You supposed to go? You gonna hang out with me? I said, all right, no problem. But I said, let me go home and get a change of clothes first. I said, you driving. She gave her the keys to the car, so she drove. I lived down the block at that time. So she drove down the block. My man and them, they got in their cars, they pulled off, and they left. And when we pulled up in front of the building, I got out the car, about to walk upstairs. Alpo pulled up in the car, I was like, yo, hey, come here for a minute. And one of my friends had pulled up on me, he said, yo, hey, he was like calling me, both of them was calling me at the same time. And my man was like, yo, hey, it's important, it's important. So when I went to him first, I told Poe, I said, 1 second. I went to him, he said, yo, dog, don't go over there. I said, why you say, see, yo, that nigga was in the cut, like, laying. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. I said, all right. So I said, all right, give me a minute, Poe. I went upstairs. You understand? And I came back down. I didn't know what was going on. But when I came back down, he wasn't there. So I got in the car with the girl, and we drove to the Bronx. And when I drove to the Bronx, we had beepers back then. So I went to the phone, left her in the car, went to the phone, called my mother. She was like, you know they found Pat's brother. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. But in my gut, I already felt that Donnell was dead. So I'm thinking she was talking about Donnell at the time. And I was like, damn. So right after that, my beeper went off again. It was Pat calling me. And I was like, I'm gonna call her right now. I'm gonna hung up, call Pat, which was Rich's sister. She crying. I was like, I heard. And she was like, yo, they killed Rich. I was like, what? And like the phone dropped. And, you know, I don't know, man. It's like I seen Alpo standing right in front of me with scratches on his face and shit. And I didn't even pick back up the phone, bro. I walked to the car, got in the car with the girl. She was like, everything all right? I said, yo, let's just go to your house. She said, I'm gonna go get something to eat for her. I said, all right. And I didn't say anything. Went in the house, got in the bed. You know, she, you know, listen, take some money, just leave me alone, yeah. Let me stay in this room. Because my mind was, I'm crazy, like, what the fuck is going on? I woke up, I went to sleep. I maybe woke up like about 3 o'clock the next day. Drove to the block crowded, everybody crying and shit. I'm like, wow, man, this shit really. As soon as I pull up, Alpo pull up. Like, he crying, what happened? And I looked at him, he looked at me, and he just went back to his car, got in his car and left. And that's when I knew, like, wow, man. You know, like, that's when I knew. Before people knew, that's when I knew, like, damn, he did that to Rich, man. But when I was talking to Pat, because the feds is involved, you know, they found Rich. I had told Pat, keeping it 100, I said, yo, Pat, if you tell them to look under Rich's fingernails and shit and see if he was fighting for his life, you might find who did this to Rich. You understand? So I don't know what went on after that. because people was getting murdered in the streets left and right, left and right. And I was living in Long Island then, and people was getting murdered so much. I said, I'm just going to stay in for a minute, man, and let this shit just bubble over, because it was crazy, man. People was getting murdered in cold blood in the streets. Seemed like how everybody that was in the game was just falling like flies. That was amongst us, you know, like getting murdered. And I couldn't understand it, so I just stayed in for a minute. And when I did come out, I had a car that I had parked. I had a house in Long Island, and I had the apartment on Links Terrace, and in the back of Links Terrace, I had a parking lot, and I had one of my cars there, and it was dirty, because, you know, but in dust, someone wrote, "You next, motherfucker." I'm like, wow. Wow. Maybe if I'd have went to that car that night, and my man didn't come and holler at me, I might not be here doing this video, not be able to write the movie, not be able to tell the story. You understand? So that's how deep this shit is.